NBC Sports and the United States Golf Association proudly present the 122nd United States Women's Amateur Championship with uninterrupted coverage presented by Rolex. It has been a great weather, good mood week here in the Pacific Northwest at Chambers Bay outside Tacoma, Washington. We're set to crown a champion who will take her place alongside the bedrock legends of the game like Alexis Sterling, who was a contemporary of Bobby Jones. Babe Zahari is one of the greatest athletes of all time. Louise Suggs. Joanne Carter won it 5 times. And Julie Inkster, 3 in a row. On this Sunday, against the gorgeous backdrop of the Puget Sound, it's Monet Chun, 21 years old, trying to become the first Canadian since 1978 to win the U.S. Women's Amateur Big Ten individual champion this spring at the University of Michigan. Squaring off against the dynamic 17-year-old sensation from Japan with the game to match the name, Saki Baba could be the second from Japan to win it. 36-hole final, playing for one of the oldest trophies in the game, the 122nd U.S. Women's Amateur Championship. Time now for a look at our marquee match presented by Rolex. Saki Baba 7 up through the early 18, rolling like that Burlington Northern that rumbles by the 16th hole. Off her 7-6 semifinal win out quickly against Chun, Baba came into the match rested after needing only 12 holes yesterday. She made 7 birdies in the opening 18. Chun had 5 bogeys. And now let's go down to the first tee in the introductions.
Good afternoon. This is the continuation of the 36-hole championship match of the 122nd U.S. Women's Amateur Championship conducted by the United States Golf Association and hosted by Chambers Bay. Please welcome the players. From Canada, Monet Chun. And from Japan, Saki Baba. The referee for the match is Tom Johnson. At the conclusion of the first 18 holes, Saki Baba is 7 up and has the honor. Play away, please.
So Baba's 7-up lead is the largest after 18 holes in a U.S. Women's Amateur final since, how's this? Ann Quast, now Ann Sander, held a 12-up lead in 1961. Rich Lerner with Morgan Pressel.
Looks like she's picking up, Rich, right where she left off from this morning.
Drive as good as the views. See if Chun can mount a comeback from 1895 through 2015. Only one all-international final. This the third now in the last 7 years. Canada and Japan. Let's take a look at the championship recap presented by Rolex and the morning session. And Saki Baba, here she is at the 4th already with a 2-up lead.
She really just played tremendous golf this morning. We didn't see hardly any mistakes from Saki, and that's tough to beat.
Okay, so she's 3 up, and now her second at the 5th.
And this long par 4 gets a nice bounce off the front left contour of this green.
Just like that, Saki Baba is 4 up. Now 3rd shot, par 5 8th, one of 5 par 5s here at Chambers Bay, a par of 73. Another superb approach shot, and Baba goes 5 up through 8. Now at 13, another par 5.
Yeah, knowing her opponent, Monet Chun, was in trouble on the left side with a difficult angle towards this whole location, plays a really smart shot here. I mean, she really epitomized today, pedal to the metal, keep it going.
6 up at that point, now at the 14th.
Just her iron play has been nothing short of spectacular. She takes dead aim at almost every flagstick and has made a fair amount of those putts, like that one right there.
Here we are with an enormous lead, but still 18 holes to play. It's great to be alongside the 2005 U.S. Women's Amateur Champion, also a major champion, Morgan Pressel. All right, I'm going to throw the name Laird Shepherd out there. Who is Laird Shepherd? Laird Shepherd at the Amateur, the British Amateur a year ago at Nairn in Scotland, was 7 down through 18 holes, and he beat Monty Scousel on the 38th hole. It can be done. However weak of a case there is, make it for us for a potential comeback. What needs to happen? You once did it from 6 down in an amateur match.
What it's going to do is it's going to take nearly flawless golf from Monet. She didn't play poorly this morning. She gave away a few holes, made 3 bogeys on par 5s, kind of really gifts. Wrapped them in nice little gift boxes and handed a few holes this morning to Saki. She cannot do that this afternoon, and she needs to make some more putts. I think otherwise she played all right. She just really didn't get anything going in, was a little bit tentative with her putting, and I think she's going to need some help from Saki because we have not seen her make really any mistakes, and she doesn't seem to be bothered by the pressure of a championship Sunday, and she just looks really calm and collected out on this golf course.
All right, Dusty Burkowski knows the amateur, the collegiate game better than anybody in the world. Kay Cockrell won the U.S. Women's Amateur back-to-back in 86 and 87. Jim Gallagher Jr., 5-time winner on the PGA Tour. Great at match play. Played the Ryder Cup, once beat Seve. Julia Johnson was a first-team All-America, helping to lead Ole Miss to the NCAA team title in 2021. Catherine Belanger is along from the USGA for any rules situations that may crop up. Now let's go down to Julia with Monet Chun.
Going with a 5-wood here, 223 to this hole today, 180 to the front, and that got kick left, I think.
Yeah, I think that's going to funnel all the way down, almost down to the 18th fairway. This was a hole she really didn't play well in the first time around, was actually way right on her second, so I'm not surprised to see her miss this a little bit left, but she's going to have a tremendously difficult third upcoming.
One of the great things about amateur golf, Kay, is that the galleries can walk in right behind the players.
Yeah, it's really a cozy atmosphere. Baba with just 189 to the hole, 146 to the front. They moved this par 5 tees up to make it reachable.
And that's what she has been doing, not even all day, but all week. Just putting it in the right spot. That should come to rest right there, but I guess you never know around Chambers Bay. Oh my gosh. That's a really wet area right there too. That's gonna be tricky too. Very unlucky there.
All right, now with a message from the USGA, here's Mike Wan. So you know what it's like to be running out front. All right, Julia.
She had just 43 yards to this hole, 5 paces to work with, and it's a pretty good shot from down there. It was a really tight lie.
Yeah, she had to make sure she got something up there on the green. I mean, she was right, almost nearly on the green for a while. Both players, and now, I mean, a 43-yard shot back into this hole. It's just so severe left of that first green, Kay.
It is, and you could be tempted to be frustrated if you're Saki Baba with the release out and now facing this really tough little shot. But she did what she wanted to do. Hit a good drive, hit a solid second shot, and just a little bit of bad luck that it released all the way through.
We haven't really seen any frustration from her all week, Kay.
No. And a really good play right there. Had to ensure she hit it firmly enough. The last thing you want to do is have it come up short and come back towards you.
Saki Baba trying to become the second from Japan to win the U.S. Women's Amateur. The first, 1985, just before Kay won her 2 straight. Michiko Hattori, who had a good career at the University of Texas as well. Japan of late, land of the rising stars, that's for sure. Tsubasa Kajitani won the Augusta National Women's Amateur last year. And then don't forget Keita Nakajima, #1 ranked male amateur in the world, won the Asia Pacific Amateur last October.
Rich, I actually talked to Michiko Hattori last night and early this morning via some text messages, and she was just a fabulous person and golfer. I played a lot against her in college. We never played head-to-head in match play, but she said that she and Japan are just so excited for Saki Baba, and it's like she's just become this big junior star now. She's had a huge breakout summer.
She made the cut at the U.S. Women's Open, finished tied for 49th, one of 4 amateurs to have made the cut. She was co-medalist at the U.S. Girls Junior.
Yeah, this putt will be on the speedy side, and everything slopes right to left. And just like her pace has been all week, sublime.
Been interested to see if we'd see any nerves from her coming out to start this second round today, and we've seen no sign of that so far.
What's the challenge when you have a big lead and then you have 2.5 hours of sort of a cool down?
I think you just gotta try and get the job done as fast as possible. I mean, for Saki, she doesn't want to let Monet really think that she has a chance. She needs to keep playing the way that she's been. And yeah, there was a break, get some lunch, maybe rest a little bit, but she was out on the range. We saw her well over an hour before the second tee time.
All right, let's see if Chun can sort of light the flame of hope right here. Begin to cut into that massive deficit. Good effort. Just outside that circle of friendship, isn't it?
Baba remains.
Think Chambers Bay, you think 2015 Jordan Spieth capturing that U.S. Open right here, but it wasn't the Texans' first visit to the course along the Puget Sound. Let's take a look at iconic venues presented by Rolex. That was a thriller. And now it's second Saki Baba.
You're going with the 3-wood. 254 down to the bunker where it cuts into the fairway.
One of the first big mistakes we've seen from Saki. It looked like it settled down in some pretty thick rough.
Monet going with driver here. She doesn't hit it as long as some of the other players, but she has a lot of accuracy.
Yeah, she has beautiful tempo and rhythm and very repeatable golf swing.
You can see the golf course is a lot greener than it was in 2015. They've had a wet spring here. Also, since the issues that plagued the 2015 U.S. Open, the greens have been resurfaced with POA. For the most part, they've been pretty good this week.
I think the golf course has been set up very well this week, Rich. I think it's showcased well, especially in match play. There's a lot of different ways. The fairways are very generous, but there's gigantic greens with lots of different options and some pretty large slopes where you can use them at times to your advantage, and you can get caught on the wrong side of the slopes as well. So I think that's why it's been such a fun match play course. Greens have been pretty tricky to read.
He's caddying in a couple of the USGA championships that have been held here. 118 to the front. I think if she can land this 120-25 and allow for release.
She's set up with a pretty open stance here. Doesn't look like she's aiming too far right. We know she likes to take dead aim.
Well, it's been a while since she's hit out of the rough, so it could be a little,
What a
little
shot.
uncomfortable for her, but no, not when you hit it that straight.
It's like a video game. She just doesn't miss the target.
And
Knows exactly where it's going.
And that's so disheartening, Julia, for Monet to watch that. She thinks that she might have an opening. Saki finally hits a shot offline and yet recovers beautifully.
Yeah, there's just not really been a chance for Monet to cut into this lead at all. She's in a beautiful position in the fairway, though. 135 to this hole, just 106 to the front. Looking to hit something about 128. Using that right slope to feed it in towards this hole. This is a really good shot up the right side of the green.
Excellent. You know, look, maybe you just don't focus on being 7 down. Go try to play a great round. Shoot 5 under, which she's capable of doing. You never know what might happen. Headed to USC. In terms of seeding, the last 5 champions, Schubert was a 43 seed, Gilman 24, Gabriella Ruffles a 6 seed, Rose Zhang 16, and then last year Jensen Castle won as a 63 seed at Westchester. All right, let's bring in Kay once again. Just a gorgeous day, isn't it, Kay? I know you've loved walking the fairways and the high dunes, all of it this week.
I do. I have to admit that I love just about any golf course that's right next to a body of water, particularly the ocean. And it's stunning out here. And this is a day that is absolutely perfect. Just a wisp of wind, little cool breeze. It's gorgeous. This putt is a 20-footer that will move just a little bit left to right. And Monet will pay attention. Yeah, as her putt is very similar.
Yeah, that broke pretty quickly across the hole there at the very end. Maybe ran out of just a fraction of pace, but if Monet was paying attention, like you said, Kay, she'll know exactly what this does. She's from a slightly different angle, though, Julia.
Yeah, I think she has a little bit of a straighter putt. This will move left to right the whole way, but coming back up that hill a little bit, she has less of the slope to contend with. This would be a big putt just to instill some confidence in herself and her stroke. She's been putting the ball so well all week. To get this one to go in would be a real big confidence booster.
Yeah, she just didn't make anything this morning, Julia. Didn't see anything go in. And definitely could use this one right here.
That's a start right there.
Let's go. 1-3, Baba 4.
That was one of the most confident strokes that we've seen today.
Yeah, Monet Chen had a look on the first hole, capitalizes there on the second.
You missed the green well to the right. It could potentially pick up enough pace to get all the way to the flag, but the camera tower, left side of our camera up there, is a good target.
Not bad.
Can feel like the greens are firming up a little bit, Steve.
Yeah, you can hear the little thump when that short iron landed. Now Baba.
I think she's looking to hit just about the same shot. Not very used to hitting second, certainly off the tees, as she has controlled the match the first 18 with the honor most of the time. She hits a higher ball going more directly at the flag.
Right as you said, Morgan, you could see it, you could hear it, that big first bounce.
Yeah, and hers, because she took more direct aim, but almost landed a little bit on that downslope.
So they make their way to the green, and we caught up with Monet Chun yesterday.
Just a little bit of a bobble there coming out of the fringe. I think took a decent amount of pace off that putt.
So Monet Chun, Julia, an opportunity for another birdie and another win.
Yeah, good look here. About 30 feet. She got to see a little bit of what Saki's putt did at the end. It should tail a little to her right. Pretty flat, not a very quick putt. She can give this one a run.
I got to point out, if you move your ball mark over, you better move it back. Otherwise, it's loss of hole, because that happened to me at Pasatiempo in 1986.
We don't remember things very long as golfers, do we?
We remember our mistakes pretty clearly.
You never made that mistake again.
Never.
Chun now for 2 in a row.
Yeah, I just never got it out far enough to the left. Not sure if that was a push. Couldn't quite tell from that camera angle. Earlier today, she was coming out of her putts a little bit, standing up pretty quickly. It looked like she's staying down nicely through this one.
So the par conceded to Monet. Bob, a short one to tie the hole.
And these are the ones you practice relentlessly, because knowing that you can make your 3-footers, just frees yourself up on the longer putts and lets your opponent know that you have your nerves in control and that you're not going to give up anything easily.
Wow.
There's a gift.
We'll see an all-time comeback. She likes it.
Yeah, just up the left side, ideal.
And that's going to give her a better angle. Not going to play quite as much uphill, which I think is important for her slightly flatter ball flight. Definitely compared to Saki, to get it close to this hole, okay?
Yeah, and hopefully Saki Baba has had some really good positive self-talk in the last couple of holes, saying, you know what, it's a long day, it's a lot of holes. Of course, my opponent's going to win a couple of times, and just brush it off. Don't let it shake your core center of confidence.
It's interesting because she does not have very much match play experience. So she's, one, never had a massive lead, and also hasn't really had too often where she's lost a few holes and gotten tight. So all in all, she's relatively inexperienced in this format.
Very quickly, I think she knew what she was going to do.
Yeah, that'll be just fine there, as Jim said. Didn't get it so far that it's in the rough. She'll be able to put some spin and control that.
A shout out to the fans that decided to walk all the way up to this 4th green, where they could just have stayed down at the 5th green and waited for play to turn around and come to them. It's a hardy bunch out here.
Wait until they get to the 7th. This is a grueling walk here. 200 feet of elevation change from the highest point at 9T all the way down to 17 green.
Saki staying aggressive, which has been her mantra all week. 195 to the front, which plays 210 to the front, trying to get it.
Trust you're enjoying this uninterrupted coverage of the 122nd United States Women's Amateur Championship is presented by Rolex. A lot at stake. Your name etched alongside the foundational greats of the game we mentioned: Alexis Sterling, Louise Suggs, Babe Zaharias. And the list keeps going. Joanne Carner, the gold medal. I think you would know, you've had your hands around the most beautiful trophy in golf, the Robert Cox Trophy. And then all the exemptions. We talked about Pebble Beach and then the other majors.
Yeah, and I think that if you think about the history of the game, and as you mentioned, all the names on there, it's probably something that these players maybe don't realize right now. They don't realize how special that is, but they will as time goes on. And I would say I was the same. You're out there to win a championship. You're not so much thinking about the history and what it all means, but it's such an honor, and I know Kay feels the same way, to have our names on that trophy along with the greatest players in the sport.
I think over the time period that you have it and you can look at the trophy and really soak it in and look all those names, it really resonates.
Patty Berg won it, Carol Semple Thompson, Beth Daniel twice, Danielle Kang back-to-back, Lydia Ko.
And Julie Inkster still to this day says the 3 in a row that she won is her crowning achievement.
I think Canadians, Kathy Stirk, 1978, and like Monet Chun, that year also won the Canadian Women's Amateur. The first Canadian to have won it was the great Marlene Stewart-Street, who is a member of the World Golf Hall of Fame. That was 1956. She beat Joanne Carner, who then went on to win 5 beginning the following year. All right, Julia.
Yeah, just 104 to this hole.
Expect Monet Chun to use this, employ this, but I understand it because she has to negotiate a hump. She almost would have to put it up into the fringe. And so she envisioned what she wanted to do, landed it on the more flat area, and that was gorgeous.
And that is the shades of Gary Woodland at, we mentioned, Pebble Beach, when Woodland won the U.S. Open in 2019.
I mean, I think Kay made a good point there. No lead is big enough, and it's tough to close out matches. It really is. It's tough to close out tournaments with a big lead. It's tough to close out matches in a match play format.
Especially, Morgan, when everything about match play is so much more emotional and so much momentum, and momentum switches. You talked about it even within one hole, how it can switch back and forth. You cannot let your opponent start feeling and creating her own momentum, which Monet has just started to do.
Yeah, we saw Monet walking up to this green with a little bit more of a pep in her step.
This is a big spot right here, Kay, because Saki has a chance to reclaim some mo, put some heat on Monet Chun here by making this putt and then sort of regain her footing.
Everything came so easy for Saki Baba on the first 18. Like I said, hit almost every fairway, missed just one fairway, just one green, putted beautifully, and Monet was a little off her game. So there's the difference. There's the advantage. Now Monet has come out a different golfer. Really good job to get that ball in the hole first.
That's great up and down right there. I mean, great. Now, pressure back on Monet Chun.
And I talked to her swing coach, Matt Wilson, a little bit a while ago before they teed off, and he said that Monet is just going to come out here and play as free as she can. He said she feels like she's playing with house money, and that's how she's played so far. She just looks really loose and a lot freer than she did this morning.
And look, Steve touched on it. Given where she was not that long ago, struggling to break 80. It's a gorgeous day. She's in the final. She already got a ticket to Pebble Beach next year. Go have some fun. Try to do something special.
This will move right to left on her, just 4.5 feet.
That hurts.
Yeah, she can't afford to do that after winning the last 2 holes. That was an opportunity in front of the hole location.
Baba's tee shot on the way.
Another beautiful drive. She hits such a lovely, high, long, straight drive.
Okay, she's pretty tall already and apparently is still growing. And her role model is Nelly Korda. So they both have kind of similar long arcs. And obviously both very tall.
All right, Monet Chun.
She's very accurate off the tee, and she'll need an accurate one here. Headed up the left side of the fairway. Should catch a piece.
It does. Looking to get your...
She tries to carry this all the way to the hole. Might go a little long.
I think ideally with her ball flight needs to use that front left slope to get it close to the hole.
And this is headed up the left.
Might be too far left. Oh, and she hits off the down slope. That's the shot, the little bit of a pull draw. That's her miss. As her coach Matt told me, that's kind of the shot that she fights a little bit, and that did not end up in a good spot.
And then you think about what just happened on the prior green. Perhaps a carryover, thinking I might win 3 in a row, and you give 1 back. Now Baba's turn.
Yes, as Jim talked about, it's just a little bit of a deceiving hole. You cannot see the green. That bunker obstructs the flat part of the green, but she trying to take it up that left side a little bit, and we're seeing the firmness of these greens now, aren't we?
It took a huge bounce.
That's a really difficult shot. The grass was going into her ball. Really hard to judge how it will come out of that lie. She did a great job.
That was pretty phenomenal right there. I mean, you have no control out of a lie like that, and we've said all week that her hands are pretty special, and her short game around the green is top notch. Showed it right there.
I thought Julia's shot at Burko was almost as good.
Yep, zinger of the week. She got me at Marion, gets me at Chambers Bay again. It's all right, Julia. I'll remember that one.
It's all with love, Burko.
That's all that matters. Great shot there by Monet Chun. Now Baba next to go.
Again, going with a sand wedge versus a putter. Just practicing. That gave me chills.
Unless you just win this hole. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
To your point, Steve, nothing really seems to have flustered her whatsoever. A poor shot, a poor bounce, none of it has phased her, and she's just continued to take dead aim and swing.
A little surprised she's going with driver here. Not really needing it on this short hole, but she is aggressive by nature, and she's staying true to that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as her game progresses and she gets a little bit older, if she learns when to use the aggressive nature. Certainly this golf course is relatively forgiving off the tee, but it'll be fun to see her game progress over the years.
Swing.
That's going to be a really, really slick putt. That's going to be a tough one.
The flagstick is a little towards the back of center on this long, slender green that, rather than actual tiers, has long transitional slopes. And I think where Monet Chun left it, that's going to be a pretty fast putt. Ideally, I'd like to keep it just left to the flag and a little underneath.
You'd have to think Saki's caddy Kay would know that.
Yeah, being a caddy here for 13 years and caddying in a couple USGA championships, he knows this course like the back of his hand.
Just dialed in all day, all week.
You can't hide the flagstick.
It's just so tough. That's such a fast putt from up there, and it's easy to be tentative. But in this situation, you really can't afford to be tentative.
Jim talked about his house of young girls growing up through the years. Saki has 3 sisters. And it was funny the other day, I said to her dad, I said, oh, that's why you're so laid back and so nice. You got a house full of girls. And he goes, no, that's why I'm poor. Which I thought was pretty funny.
It's a great line, Kay. Jim can probably relate.
It all looks so good.
And that's just back to the no holes. There's no holes in her game that we have seen. Her mental game, her physical game, every little aspect of her play so far this week has been just tremendous.
Baba now on the tee at the 7th.
Be interesting to see how close to the sand she takes this. Yep, challenging it right over it. Beautiful drive. She is in some kind of mode right now.
Continues to play well, and also throw in the Women's World Amateur Team Championship 10 days from now in Paris. Rose Zhang, Rachel Heck, Rachel Keane representing the ladies for the United States. Now Monet Chun.
She's taking this a little bit further left in the center, but it needs to carry to get over this bunker, and it does.
Right down there by Baba. That's what Jim was talking about up there at the green.
And people down here, you know, clap because they like the look of the shot and the line it takes, but you have no idea from the fairway what the result is.
That putt's going to break a ton right to left off the slope coming off the back of the green.
All right, Monet.
140, but it plays about 10 up from this portion of the fairway. Really a good advantage to know where this hole was located earlier in the first round. It's on a good line, just barely left of the hole.
Oh, that's going to slope down all the way to the left. Is that going to come back, I would imagine? That's going to be a really tricky shot. We've seen her chip well off these tight lies, but that's going to be very quick.
Another hole trying to decide what club to hit.
This now for birdie.
quite given enough pace on that initial uphill part of the putt. When you look at a putt that breaks that much, that's uphill to start and then downhill at the end, that's a tendency.
See what Chun can do here from left of the green.
She really likes chipping with her 58 degree. She's found a portion of this first cut that's not very thin, so she might be able to put some spin on this ball. This is a very difficult chip off that downslope.
Yeah, that was not her best, considering we know how good her hands are. This, I think it's going to end up stopping on the green, but I think she could have done a little bit better than that. That wasn't exactly what she was looking for.
So never parlayed one mistake really into another.
Sort of knew that was going to go in.
Morgan, I'm kind of liking this center shafted putter. I might have to look into getting one of those.
Her reaction after that was funny. She almost didn't think that that was going to go in and is just kind of laughing at this point. Like maybe she herself didn't even expect this kind of a match today.
I'm really enjoying watching this swing. It just seems so simple and efficient.
It's repeatable.
Mm-hmm.
She actually used to hit a little bit of a draw, but her coach suggested that she start to learn to hit a little bit of a fade to improve her score. So this year she switched to hitting a touch of a fade, and it's not that easy to do.
Just doesn't miss the middle of the club face all that often. So she's 9 down with 11 holes to play. Had so many good moments in the last couple of years. We detailed some of them. Tsubasa Kajitani won the Augusta National Women's Amateur, and then 5-6 days later, Hideki won the Masters. And then we mentioned Keita Nakajima later in 2021 won the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. He's the #1 ranked amateur in the world, and now here we are, Saki Baba strolling to the U.S. Women's Amateur title and doing it in resounding fashion.
Japan has put out a tremendous list of young ladies as well. I mean, you think Nasa Hataoka has been really a superstar on the LPGA Tour for the last handful of years. And I go back to thinking about what the Olympics has done for golf, and specifically Japanese golf. Being in Tokyo last year, all of these global golf organizations investing in their youth, and these countries from around the world, specifically Japan, are starting to see the benefits of all that effort that they've put into growing the game in their countries.
They've improved their coaching in Japan. They've gone to a more holistic approach. They're preparing their athletes for the international stage.
Needs a fortunate kick out of the rough here. Is she going to get it? Similar place to where she was in the morning session.
Nice shot.
No.
I need to stop here.
Wonder down the road, we suspect she will turn professional. When she does, if she'll hire Bo Brushard as her caddy. You know. So we're going to watch this one with the Tracer technology, and it's brought to you by Lexus, the official vehicle of the USGA.
Yeah, taking this down the left side. Morgan, you made a good point about maybe hiring Bo at Pebble.
Right.
It might spin it back a little too much.
Yeah, good play. She learned from her mistake this morning, throwing it way too far up on that backstop and spinning back. Good play.
I suppose Michael Greller graduated beyond the status of local caddy here in 15, but he certainly was a caddy who was local. And this tandem has worked really nicely together. 66 paces to the hole. Taking it all the way back there, ensuring she got it to the tier, the back tier. This putt is downhill, and I have some pull to the left.
Just a thing of beauty. It just really has the feel of us watching something.
Yeah, it's a virtuoso performance.
It's very special, and is history making, and I mean, like you said, her hello world moment.
Yeah. At a certain point, it's not so much about the score. It's about the beauty of what you're watching.
Baba 4. Baba is now 10 up with 10 to play.
On a bit of a tear now, has won 5 consecutive holes.
I have to say I'm a fan, and I was a fan before today. I just love her name. I think she's got the greatest name in golf right now. It's fun to say Saki Baba, and I think she's gonna generate a lot of fans throughout the world.
Especially because she's got the game to match.
Mm-hmm.
Tracer technology brought to you by Lexus, the official vehicle of the USGA.
This looks like an excellent line.
This little just simple fade that she plays with her irons she is so precise. It's really it's made us all up here a little speechless. You know, what do you say? It's so good.
Great shot. Another good one. Now Monet Chun.
This is headed out to the left, towards those people on the left side. Might grab that slope and come all the way down.
She might get away with this one.
Chambers Bay in a nutshell. Almost ends up in the same spot as Saki Baba. So we'll have a couple of...
She was the first. Now Monet Chun.
Downhill, very quick, moving left to right the whole way. And that was a good stroke.
Yeah, if you think about women's golf in Japan, they're truly superstars, like Hollywood actors here in the United States. And I remember being in the Osaka airport and seeing a 20-foot tall picture of Ai Miyazato walking to security, and that is the stardom that these players and even the women coming out of Japan are revered in their country. It's fun to see them embrace the women's game.
All right, Kay, this is it.
This is it. And this would be the cap off to just an amazing performance. Just cozy this down here. It's been some kind of special moment this week to watch this young woman.
Go ahead. Do that in style. One of the great performances we've ever seen. Saki Baba has won the 122nd U.S. Women's Amateur Championship. It matches the third biggest margin of victory in championship history, 11-9, Babe Zaharias in 1946. Yes, it is the land of the rising star. 17 years old. Yeah, we love drama, Morgan. You like a close match, but in lieu of that, you love to watch greatness, and that's what we saw today.
We've seen all week from Saki, and you kind of felt like that was going to go in, that last putt, just to put a cap on the tremendous performance that she's put together, especially today. Nearly flawless. She's so much fun to watch.
And how about this? She played 106 holes in all in this championship. That's the same number you played. Second fewest number of holes needed by a champion at the U.S. Women's Amateur. How about that? 106. Goes back to 1973, second fewest. You did it in 05. And while we have a moment, let's go down to Kay Cockrell.
I'm alongside Bo Brushert, who has been a caddy here for over 13 years, and there were a lot of local caddies that were used for the week of the U.S. Women's Amateur. It was sort of a random assignment that you guys got paired together. What has this week been like for you, and what did you observe throughout the week in her that sort of made it appear that she is extra special?
Well, the week was amazing, first of all. Second of all, I knew right away just her poise, her composure was amazing. I learned her game a little bit in the first two practice rounds last weekend, and just noticed she was an amazing putter. Her pace all week has been phenomenal. I don't think she had but maybe 1 3-putt all week, and I think that's what won it for her. She's amazing. You know, if she makes one mistake or gets down on one hole, she bounces right back, just like you saw on number 3 today on the second 18. But she's amazing. Yeah, she fires right at those flags.
Well, talk about her maturity level. Just 17 years old, just the third USGA event she's played here, her first U.S. Women's Amateur Championship, and she goes on to win. How did that happen?
That's a good question. She's just a great player. Like I said, her poise, her composure, you know, she fires at the flagstick. She has no fear at all, and she played phenomenal all week. And I think, like I told you earlier today, like Thursday kicked in, and there was a trust factor between both of us that just kind of really came about. And on Thursday morning, she started making some putts and getting some confidence, and you know, her putting obviously is what won it for her this week. So it was a lot of fun to watch.
Well, you guys made a great team. You were a lot of fun to watch, and I know this is going to be one of your all-time great golf memories. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Let's go over to Julia Johnson.
Monet, I know this isn't how you wanted the week to end, but 156 girls started, and you're one of 2 still standing. So how proud of you are you to get to this moment?
No, I'm pretty excited to be here, just to represent Canada and Michigan especially. Yeah, I'm just excited to be here right now.
At what point in the match could you kind of see it turning, and could you see Yaki kind of gaining some momentum?
Yeah, I think it was at some point in the first round. She made a birdie putt and I missed mine, and I think that was kind of the turning point. And there was definitely some other parts out there where she made a couple more putts. So yeah, just through the whole match, I think.
You've earned a spot next year at the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. How excited are you for that, and looking forward? You have such a great career ahead of you. So how excited are you of that?
No, I'm pretty excited. I haven't played a professional event yet, and I'm going to tee it up next week at CP. So after that, I think I'm going to gain some momentum for next year.
Awesome. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you, Julia, and congrats to Monet Chun. She had a great week.
She